Hello everyone, welcome to this latest episode. I am your host Robbie and this is Robbie's Talking Teas. Tarantula content for tarantula lovers just like yourselves. In today's video I've come to Epping Forest. I'm planning to do a bioactive enclosure next week, so I've come here to see what goodies nature has to provide. So before I show you what we find, smash that like button, it really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. So let's get searching. So here we are, Epping Forest. Now this is just round the corner from where I live, well not too very far. As you can see, it's a nice wet winter day, so I'm hoping that walking through here I can find some nice moss, some nice tree branches and just some nice things to put in the enclosure in general. Some of you may or may not know that my theraphosa apophysis molted last week, maybe slightly later than that, so it is ready for a rehouse. So I decided, as it needs a nice, moist, humid environment, it'd be great to get some things in nature that will provide her with that. And yes, it is a her. I sexed the molt. It's 100% female, and that is absolutely awesome. And this is what I love about nature. You can just come out here, get lost in the world. Well, I'm not going to get lost. I know this forest like the back of my hand. But it's just beautiful. Like how misty it is. It's a foggy day. It's very quiet. You can hear the faint rumbling of cars. You can hear the birds chirping. It's absolutely beautiful. As you can see, the moss is in full flow here. So what I'm hoping to find is a tree root a bit like this. Obviously one that's not still attached to a tree, but something loose. Something like this would look lovely in the apophysis enclosure. So that's what I'm keeping my eye out for, something like that, or a big patch of moss that I can dig up. Yeah, let's find it. Beautiful tree out here in the woods. But over here, this takes me back to being a kid. We used to come in here and build little forts, and we'd sit and chill and relax in them just by leaning branches up like that. So that takes me back a fair few years. Probably in a place not too far from here, somewhere over in that direction. It's also nice to see that the wild spiders have been hard at work webbing up the trees. I doubt we'll see any today. Maybe if we dig something up we might find some insects. So I've been walking for a little bit. I may have found a nice bit of wood for the enclosure. What do you guys think about this? Look at that. Once it's dried out, that'll be a nice platform for inside the enclosure. Do need to dry it out, but that looks fantastic. I'm going to take it. Oh my god, look at this. This is the sort of thing that I am looking for. And I didn't bring a saw. Wow. That is absolutely gorgeous. Look at the natural moss growing on there. You know, people go out and they spend so much money on moss. If they just come out into the woods, there you go. It's free. Why are we paying for it? I need to find something like this but a bit smaller, and I should have bought a saw out with me, because I would have cut the end off this and used that at some point in the enclosure. That would have been fantastic. So let's keep searching and try and find something as gorgeous as this, but just a bit smaller. So as I said earlier in the video, I grew up just around the corner from this forest, and I know it like the back of my hand. So I've come here because I'm going to show you a little something from my youth. When I was younger, I used to go to school and we used to come and play football at PE. And I really enjoyed football. But this was the football pitch. This is where we used to play. You can see the goal there. Now my school was just past them trees there. You go through a little path and it's just through a little bit of forest, like say 500 meters, just past this little wooded bit here was where I went to school. So yeah, this is where we used to come out and do PE. We used to like play football, play cricket and all that stuff. I even used to come over here in the summer holidays when it was nice and just walk around here. Such a nice place to grow up, so peaceful. That's the one thing I'm enjoying about today. There's no hustle and bustle, there's no noise. You can just get away and just, you know, think about things. And that's what I love about nature, even if I am falling all over the place in the mud. I do enjoy it. The most amazing thing is walking through these and just, you know, seeing all the moss and all the nettles growing. I haven't seen any nature yet though. Normally you see like foxes walking around, you see squirrels climbing the trees, but I suppose it's a bit too cold and a bit too wet. And I found that log, that one little log for the enclosure, but that's definitely not the end of this search. I've got a vision in my head of how I want this enclosure to look. So let's keep searching. First bit of nature in the woods. It's a dog. Hello, mate. See, these are the types of branches that I'm coming for. Look at that. This is, I believe, lichen moss. And you can buy this from the spider shop in little bags. But here, it's free. This is definitely going in the enclosure. Annie, open the bag. Say hello to everyone. Hey. So yeah, that's a nice little find. Still searching though. I still want to find a nice clump of moss, or proper moss to stick in this, like carpet moss, to stick in this enclosure, because I think it'll look nice. I've already bought the plants. Got some isopods that are going in there, some springtails. Got the substrate. Got some arid earth for the isopods and springtails to live in. So yeah, the enclosure hopefully is going to look nice. Hopefully. Come, let's find this moss. So here's another spot that brings back memories. That's right by the river. And when I was in school, we used to come to this tree. And you see, right about here, there used to be a branch that used to come up towards us that used to come over the river. You can see a little rope there, but there used to be a rope swing, and this river used to be a lot more full. It used to come right the way up the bank, and I remember we used to climb up this tree and we'd swing across the river to see if we could come and land here and get across, and we never could. And there was about 6 or 7 of us that used to come here every day. And I remember one time we climbed right up onto this branch up here, and we had the rope swing, and we swung right the way out, all 6 of us on the rope, and it never broke. That's the kind of things we used to do in school. So this is definitely bringing back memories of good times in school, because everyone, I think, enjoyed their school days deep down, really. Even if people say they hate it, once you get older, once you get to like 40, 50, 60, everyone says, if I could do anything again, I'd go back and relive my school days, because they was always full of fun and adventure. Especially like things like summer holidays, like the 6 weeks holidays that seem to go on forever and ever and ever, and you never wanted them to end. First bit of nature since we've been here. Got a squirrel in the tree. Don't know if you can see that there. See if we can get a little bit closer. Ah, here he goes, running up the tree. So I know what you're thinking. You're asking yourself, Rob, why have you come out to nature to find bits for your enclosure? Isn't it a bit risky for the tarantula? And the answer to that is no, not at all. It is perfectly safe to take stuff from the natural environment and stick it in your enclosures. If you think about it, you stick springtails in there, you stick isopods in there, you stick all sorts of stuff in there to make the bioactive enclosure work. And normally with bioactive enclosures, it takes a few weeks for them to, you know, to level out, to start working, to start doing its job. Here, it's already been done for you. It's already living, it's already growing, it's already full of goodness. So no, if you come to a remote spot like this where you can guarantee there's been no pesticides put in here, there's been nothing added to it that could possibly harm your tea chemically, it's absolutely fine. Also, the inspiration for this was watching Dave's Little Beasties. Dave's Little Beasties, he uses his beastie mix and he collects logs all the time. He's done it for years, and all his tarantulas are absolutely fine. So to answer that question, no, it's perfectly fine, and it's a lot cheaper as well. If you want to save some money and you don't fancy paying the big prices that you have to pay from sellers for cork bark and stuff like that, here's the best place to get it. It's fantastic, and it's a good day out. So I've been walking for about 40 minutes now, and I didn't think I would find any moss. I thought this trip was coming to an end. I thought it's wet, it's cold, I'm not finding any. And then I'm walking back to the car. Guess what? We found moss. Look at it. Lovely patches of moss. So I'm going to dig this up. Look, there's more here, more here. We're going to use this in the enclosure to keep the humidity in there for the apophysis. So I'm going to dig some of this up and take it home. Yes! So we've been through the woods, dug up the moss, we've got a bag of goodies. So now I'm going to go home and show you everything we picked up, show you the enclosure. Had a good day. I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed my stories. But it's cold, it's wet. Let's get back. So we are back from our trip to Epping Forest. So let's show you what we got. I am gonna put the bits and pieces into containers just so I can store them. I've got a few nice bits, a few bits of wood with like moss on them, sticks. We've got that original piece of wood that we filmed there. That's going to look good in the enclosure. And on the way out, which I didn't film, I found this stunning log. Look at that. Look at that beautiful moss. That is going to look stunning inside the enclosure. Another reason why I'm sticking it in these is I'm going to stick it in the airing cupboard for a week because it's nice and warm, so I can let the wood dry out a little bit. What else have we got in this bag? We've got another stick with some lichen moss on it. Now in here I'm going to stick, look at all this. Look, this is all the moss that I collected in that little patch. I'm going to stick it in here because I want to keep it nice and nice and moist and together, ready for when we use it in the enclosure. Look at these bags of the stuff. I was looking on eBay at a 20 by 20 centimetre sheet of this stuff, and they wanted like £15 for it. £15, and I was tempted to buy it, but now there's absolutely no point because look, I have got shed loads and it is absolutely beautiful. Look at the colour of it, how green it is. Fantastic stuff. So we're going to stick it all in there and keep it all together. I'm so excited to be doing this build. So excited. Look, I filled up the entire container. Now out in the forest it's not so bad. Just be careful if you're ever collecting moss that you don't go onto a private land, because you will have to get the owner's permission before you take any stuff like this. But if it's just a forest or public property, it's perfectly fine to go out and get fresh materials. So let's show you what plants are going into the enclosure. Also going into the bioactive enclosure are these couple of little plants. This says it's a Phytonia mix or Phytonia plant, which is beautiful. Hopefully that will spread out in the enclosure. It's gorgeous. And then we've got this fern which is going to go in there as well. So this enclosure is going to look lovely and green and full of life, which is exactly what I want from it. So there you have it. It was a really awesome trip to the woods, even though it was really cold, wet and muddy. I think you'll agree we got some stunning stuff to put in that apophysis enclosure. I'm excited to put it together and I will be doing it for next week's video. I really can't wait to do it. So I'm going to end it here, but before we go, I want to take the time to remind you guys about the 2k subscriber giveaway that we're doing on the channel. I have changed it a little bit. I've made it a little bit better just to tie in with this series of videos, this next 2 videos. So at 2k subscribers, I'll be giving one of you the chance to win a T. Celedonia and also a T apophysis sling, 3 to 4 centimeters. If you're interested in that, all you have to do is go over and watch my Grammostola rosea video and type T. celadonia in the comments and you'll be entered. So if that's something that you're interested in entering and you want to watch all my previous content and can't wait for the next lot of videos, then just subscribe, hit the bell notification. Thank you. See you in the next video. Take care.